Verzenio Plus in AI is proven to help women have significantly more time without disease progression, and more than half of women saw their tumors shrink versus in AI. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, and may cause dehydration or infection. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Serious liver problems can occur. Symptoms may include tiredness, loss of appetite, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising more easily than normal. Blood clots that can lead to death have also occurred. Talk to your doctor right away if you notice pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, or rapid breathing or heart rate. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include nausea, infections, low red and white blood cells and platelets, decreased appetite, headache, abdominal pain, tiredness, vomiting, and hair thinning or loss.
I'm relentless, and my doctor and I choose to treat my MBC with Verzenio.
Be relentless. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Liberty Mutual saved us almost $800 when we switched our auto and home insurance.
With Liberty, we could afford a real babysitter instead of your brother. Oh, that's my robe.
Is it? When you switch to Liberty Mutual, you could save $782 on auto and home insurance and still get great coverage for you and your family. Call 1-888-853-3144 for a free quote today. You could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Tonight, Bob Woodward is sitting down with Anderson Cooper to discuss his explosive new tell-all, Fear. The legendary journalist is weighing in on the fallout and sharing why he wants America to wake up. Anderson Cooper 360, tonight 8 Eastern.
Did you know Swift Oil Change services all makes and models?
I brought my Mercedes SUV into Swift Oil Change prior to a long trip. They had all the right parts and tools and saved me a few bucks in the process. I'm a very satisfied customer.
Visit Swift Oil Change for fast, dependable, courteous service. We change your oil and filter, check vital fluids, lubricate the chassis, monitor tire pressure, even vacuum the interior. Swift Oil Change, featuring quality Pennzoil products. Drive into one of our 2 convenient Naples locations.
Xfinity presents Rematch, Canelo, Triple G. When you know you the best of the best. And you not like the rest, now you better than the rest. It's the fight of your life, it's time to race supreme. And fulfill all your dreams, this is history. The rematch is
Canelo versus Triple G2, Saturday, September 15th.
To order Canelo versus Triple G2, just say boxing into your X1 voice remote now.
Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. The final episode starts September 23rd at 9 on CNN.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we have this breaking news for you now. CNN has learned that Cardinal Donald Wuerl of the Washington, D.C. Archdiocese will ask Pope Francis to accept his resignation when he meets with the Pope, which should be soon. This is according to Wuerl's spokesperson, who did not specify when this meeting would happen. Wuerl, the Archbishop of Washington, has been under scrutiny for what he may have known about abuse allegations about his predecessor in Washington, Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, and how he handled abusive priests when he was the head of the Diocese of Pittsburgh. His name was mentioned more than 150 times in the Pennsylvania grand jury report about predator priests in Pennsylvania and those in the Catholic Church who helped cover up their crimes. We also have some breaking news on Hurricane Florence. The Category 3 hurricane is an enormous storm, as you can see in this new photo of it from space, captured by satellite. And as Florence approaches the East Coast, it's expected to linger, to take its time, which increases the potential of catastrophic rain and flooding as the storm essentially just sits over the same area. Some scientific studies say there's a reason for this, and it's at least partly because of climate change, warmer water in the oceans and rising sea levels causing hurricanes such as Florence to be stronger and slower and more destructive. CNN's Tom Foreman is in the virtual studio for us. Tom, scientists have been trying to figure out if there is a connection to this in recent years.
Yeah, and they're still working on that connection. But look at this. Hurricane Harvey dumped 27 trillion gallons of water on the Texas coast. It submerged about a third of Houston. Around 90 people died, more than 200,000 homes destroyed. Hundreds of thousands of cars as well. And this study from the National Center for Atmospheric Research says there's a reason, because global warming is making storms more intense, bigger, longer lasting, and greatly increasing their flooding rains. In other words, this study says it is supercharging storms out there. Well, how would that work? Well, we know that hurricanes are built on warm water. And we know from this study that the water in the Gulf of Mexico was at one of the hottest levels ever recorded right before Harvey formed. 86 degrees off some parts of the Texas. An awful lot of warm water vapor up into it, completely saturating the storm. And then as it moved over land, it started releasing it all in that devastating rain. Could you have had a big storm, a destructive storm, without global warming? Absolutely. But what this study is saying is, as you noted, global warming may have made it worse. Jake?
And that's interesting. It could have made them the storms worse, supercharging them. Is this trend in climate change, according to scientists, also potentially causing more tropical storms?
Yeah, it's a great question that they're trying to sort out there. They know that decade to decade, sometimes there are a lot of other natural events that make more storms or fewer storms, but a researcher at MIT has noticed that since the 1970s, the most destructive storms have been more powerful. And whether it's causation, there is a correlation. That's the same period of time that they've been watching this increase in global sea surface temperatures. So all of that suggests, Jake, that there are some similarities between Florence and Harvey that may prove that they are these supercharged storms that scientists have been warning about. Jake?
All right, Tom Foreman, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Jake Tapper. You can tweet the show at The Lead CNN. Our coverage on CNN continues right now. Thanks for watching.
Happening now, breaking news, Super Soaker. A new forecast is just in for Hurricane Florence, which will bring devastating winds and storm surges to the Carolina coast, where it's expected to linger, dropping up to 40 inches of rain in parts of the southeast. Power at risk. 6 nuclear plants are in the path of the hurricane, and with down power lines and major flooding already a certainty, millions are expected to lose electricity, some for weeks. Sanctioning interference. President Trump signs an executive order to punish foreigners for interfering in U.S. elections. While that will allow new sanctions on Russia or others, Democrats and Republicans alike now say it doesn't go nearly far enough. And poisoning suspects. Russia's President Putin shrugs off British accusations that 2 nerve agent poisoning suspects belong to Russian military intelligence. Putin says they're just innocent civilians. So what's his game? I'm Wolf Blitzer. You're in the Situation Room.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Breaking news, the latest forecast is just in for Hurricane Florence, which is expected to deliver a catastrophic blow to the Carolina coast. The punishment is expected to go on for days, with the storm likely to pause while it pounds the coast with walls of water up to 13 feet high before moving inland, dumping more than 3 feet of rain in some areas. Officials warn this storm will be deadly and devastating, and time is quickly running out for the nearly 2 million people under evacuation orders. 6 nuclear plants lie in the storm's projected path, and up to 3 million customers are expected to lose power in the Carolinas alone. I'll speak with the director of the National Weather Center, Louis Uccellini, and our correspondents and specialists are all standing by with full coverage. Let's get the new forecast just out from our meteorologist, Jennifer Gray. She's at the CNN Weather Center. Jennifer, this advisory just in. Update our viewers on the very latest.
The advisory just came out about 10 minutes ago, Wolf, and still a major Category 3 storm. This storm is very, very powerful, packing winds of 120 miles per hour with gusts of 150, moving to the northwest at 16 miles per hour. Still moving very quickly, but is expected to slow, in fact, come to a screeching halt by the time it makes it to the coast. Anywhere between northeastern South Carolina and the central coast of North Carolina as a Category 3 major storm. And this storm is going to slow so much, you will be able to walk faster than this storm is moving. That means a lot of rain is going to dump not only across interior sections of North Carolina, but all through South Carolina as it's still lingering on Saturday, and then potentially still hanging around by Sunday across eastern portions of Georgia, even moving into Tennessee. So the storm is not going anywhere quickly. It's going to sit here all weekend long. We will probably still be talking to you about this on Monday. We are going to see anywhere from 20 to 30 inches of rain. This area has actually expanded around Wilmington, now includes Myrtle Beach as well. And then look how far inland the flooding rains go. This pink area, 10 to 20 inches of rain. And then we could see that rain 6 to 10 inches even in Charlotte. Evacuated inland, be careful where you go because we could see major flooding in these areas well inland of the coast. Look at the storm surge, 9 to 13 feet. This is going to hang around for 24 hours possibly as this water continues to push inland. 9 to 13 feet is a lot of water. It's going to fill the entire first story of your house. This water is going to push up the rivers, overfilling their banks, and so we could see major flooding because of that as well. Not only that, it's going to last several high tide cycles, which makes it even worse. This storm is not only powerful, it's big. We have hurricane force winds that extend 125 miles across, 300 miles across for the tropical storm force winds. And we're going to see that storm, Wolf, linger along the coast. The watches and warnings are up. We could feel the effects of this storm as early as tomorrow morning with tropical storm force winds along the North Carolina coast.
This is really life-threatening indeed. All right, Jennifer, thanks for that update. Along the Carolina coast, it's the last best chance to get out before this monster storm moves in. Not everyone, though, is heeding the orders to leave. Let's go to CNN's Brian Todd. He's in Swan Quarter, North Carolina for us. So, Brian, what's the latest where you are?
Wolf, these ferries actually represented the last best chance for hundreds of people to get off of North Carolina's isolated barrier islands. But tonight, these ferries have stopped. They are moored down to ride out the storm, and the people on those islands and up and down this coastline are now just bracing. Some are hunkering down and boarding up, while most are gassing up and leaving town.
We need to get out of here to be safe.
Up and down the Carolina coast, these are the final hours to evacuate, ahead of what authorities say will be a major hurricane with heavy flooding.
This is going to be, a Mike Tyson punch to the Carolina coast.
More than 1.5 million people are under evacuation orders, many of them moving inland, on highways that have been reversed to double the flow.
If you're on the coast, there's still time to get out safely. No possession is worth your life.
Evacuation shelters opening further inland. In North Carolina, over 4,000 have checked in so far. President Trump issuing a warning and saying FEMA is preparing to help.
We're fully prepared, food, medical, everything you can imagine, we are ready.
Some residents say they will stay put and ride it out.
I fill my bathtub, I have containers filled with water.
But authorities are warning at the height of the storm, don't assume you could be rescued.
This is a dangerous storm. We ask that you heed the warnings. Today's the day.
Beaches already deserted.
This is a mandatory evacuation.
Coastal streets emptying out. Boats gone from marinas. Even the turtles at the South Carolina Aquarium are being transferred. For Ocracoke, an exposed barrier island on North Carolina's Outer Banks, the only evacuation route has already closed. The ferry has made its last run.
I packed up everything as well as I could and got it all prepped up and boarded the windows, got my boat with me, got my dog with me. So not what I wanted to do, but it's what I had to do.
What's your big concern for people who are staying? Some people are staying, right?
Right. High water, crashed in walls and ceiling and roofs and, no water, no power.
At least 2,000 people have left, but local officials say at least 100 are staying on Ocracoke Island.
There are people that have a very independent streak and they love these barrier islands and they're going to stay no matter what we tell them.
Now, some of the people who did not evacuate North Carolina's barrier islands have told us one of the big reasons they're staying is because they are worried that it would be too difficult to get back on their island and tend to their home if it's damaged. But tonight, those people are being warned during the height of the storm, do not call emergency services. They cannot get to you. Wolf?
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Brian Todd on the scene for us. I want to quickly go to CNN's Nick Valencia. He's in Conway, South Carolina. That's near Myrtle Beach. Nick, are people there heeding these warnings and evacuating?
Wolf, we're standing in the middle of Highway 501, which is the main thoroughfare out of Myrtle Beach, about 20 miles inland, and it's starting to look like a ghost town. Local officials tell us that's because people are listening to the warnings, those dire warnings being issued by the local governor saying people will not be around to help you out if you decide to stay. This traffic is light right now, but we've been here since the early morning hours, at times seeing very, very heavy traffic. That's because people, they say, were listening to get out ahead of this storm. We saw people bring their pets, small dogs, even horses, carrying them out of this storm ahead of that landfall, as well as that are deciding to stay. Wolf.
Nick, what are some of the hazards for those who don't evacuate, don't heed this order?
It goes without saying, you're not only putting the first responders' lives in jeopardy, you're also putting your own life. You're talking about down power lines, down trees, those heavy wind gusts as well. The EPA right now is monitoring 9 Superfund sites along the coastal Carolinas, along the East Coast as well, making sure that hazardous material does not spread. It's something that it can be very nasty that comes along with the floodwaters that come with these hurricanes. Unfortunately, our crew knows all too well. It was last year during Hurricane Harvey that we were exposed to a strand of E. coli as well as Lyme disease. You're not only putting, as I mentioned, your life at risk, but also those first responders if you decide to stay. Wolf.
Yeah, they should leave while they still have a little bit of time left. Nick Valencia, thank you very much. Let's turn now to the director of the National Weather Service, Louis Uccellini. Louis, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So what's the biggest threat from this monster storm right now?
Well, there are 3 threats. We have the surge associated with this storm as it moves towards the coast, especially. Very heavy rains. As you saw, we're now predicting over 40 inches of rain to occur in parts of southeast North Carolina. And, of course, the winds. You put them all together and you have some devastating impact that's going to affect a large number of people for a long period of time.
The East Coast doesn't often see a hurricane of this enormity, this magnitude. Give us some perspective on what this one is like compared to previous.
Well, I was just going to emphasize that, as we see, these storms have their unique characteristics. This is a big storm. It's a slow-moving storm. It's going to be moving along the coast for at least 24 hours. So it's going to prolong the impacts that we've just described. And, and it's a combination of factors. We're going to have the very heavy rainfall in the Carolinas. We're going to have strong surge. The water has no place to go. The rivers themselves are going to be filling up with the water coming in from the ocean in terms of the surge. So we're looking at some very devastating flood potential over large areas of southeast North Carolina and even portions of South Carolina now. It looks like they're going to get into some of this very heavy rainfall as well.
Because it's going to be making that left turn into South Carolina as well. Originally, they thought maybe they'd escape this, but they're clearly not going to escape it. When people hear it's a Category 4 now, as it's moving towards the coast, but it'll be downgraded to a Category 3, they say, well, maybe it's not that dangerous anymore, to which you say,
Category 3 storm is still a major hurricane, and the winds will do devastating damage in and of itself. It's the history of this storm and as it's tracked towards the coast that's going to make the surge along the coast very dangerous as well. So you can't let your guard down. This is going to be a very dangerous storm for an extended period of time over the Carolinas.
And it could go on because it's so slow moving for days and days and days, and the heavy flooding could continue.
We'll be talking about this storm through the weekend. That's how slowly it's going to be moving along the coast and then enter in towards the Appalachians. It's that slow movement is just going to enhance the potential for devastating floods inland that people have to be aware of.
So when I say it's life-threatening, you agree?
Oh, yes.
How worried should folks in the Carolinas be right now?
I think that people have to listen to their local and state officials in terms of evacuation orders in response to the floods as they develop. This is going to be a very dangerous storm for an extended period of time, and the local officials are on top of it. We're working with them very closely, state and federal officials as well. Listen to their instructions and be safe. Be as safe as you can.
Thanks for all the important work you're doing. Louis Uccellini is the director of NOAA's National Weather Service. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We'll stay in very close touch with you. Up next, we'll have much more on this powerful storm bearing down on the Carolinas right now. It could bring catastrophic flooding to millions and millions of Americans. And President Trump issues dire warnings about Hurricane Florence while repeating his claim that the federal response to last year's storm in Puerto Rico was a success, despite a death toll of nearly 3,000.
To the East Coast.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, brought to you by Chase. Make more of what's yours.
I put a spell on you. Yeah, because you're mine.
With Chase ATMs, Serena can now grab cash on the go, all with the tap of her phone.
The things you do.
No card, no problem. Make more of what's yours.
Why bother mastering something? Why test a hybrid engine for over 6 million miles? Why hand-tune an audio system? Why include the most advanced active safety system in its class, Standard? Because when you want to create an entirely new feeling, the difference between excellence and mastery is all the difference in the world. Introducing the all-new Lexus ES. Every curve, every innovation, every feeling. A product of mastery. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Fox! Do you like your new toy?
All right. Toys and treats shipped to your door for as low as $21 a month. Subscribe today at BarkBox.com and get a free bonus toy.
Now is the time to get the body you've always wanted at Sonobello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist. To celebrate our 10th anniversary, for the first time ever, we're offering you exclusive access to our employee-only pricing.
Before Sonobello, this is what I used to look like. This is what I look like now. It's hard sometimes to believe that's me. Is that my body? Wow, cool.
Using advanced microlaser technology, Sonobello's board-certified plastic surgeons can remove unwanted fat in as little as 1 day, with minimal downtime. Even stubborn areas like stomach, thighs, and love handles. Call 888-470-4969. Now, for a free consultation and take advantage of our 10th anniversary exclusive employee-only pricing. Payment plans available. Don't miss out on your chance to take advantage of employee-only pricing from Sonobello. This is a limited time offer. Call 888-470-4969. Now.
Hello Window Designs. They're tested from -40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit and subjected to wind-driven rain. They're even engineered to stop hurricane debris from penetrating your home. All with distinctive style that goes beyond the ordinary. Pella Windows and Doors. Perfectly beautiful.
As a pro athlete, I know great performance starts with great sleep. And the Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is my competitive edge. It intelligently senses our movements and automatically adjusts our firmness and support on each side to keep us both incredibly comfortable. It can even warm our feet to help us fall asleep faster. It's great sleep I can feel and see. Better sleep keeps me at the top of my game for this team and the home team. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed from $9.99. It's proven quality sleep.
How can we say when you book direct at choicehotels.com, you always get the lowest price in our rooms, guaranteed?
Let's get someone to say it with a really low voice. Carl?
Lowest price guaranteed.
What about the world's lowest limbo stick?
How low can you go?
Nice one, Carl.
Hey, I've got an idea. Just say bada book, bada boom.
Bada book, bada boom.
Nice.
Always the lowest price, guaranteed. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Hey, Stacy. I'm almost home. I'll let you in, okay?
Doorman service, brought to you by ADT. Smart security designed and installed just for you.
Closed captioning brought to you by InventHelp. Call 1-800-900-0202.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now for free information.
Breaking news, the new forecast is just out for Hurricane Florence, on track to hit the Carolinas with powerful storm surges and up to 40 inches of rain. Officials warn it's the last chance to evacuate ahead of what could be a catastrophic storm. President Trump is adding his voice to those warnings. Let's go live to our senior White House correspondent, Jeff Zeleny. Jeff, so what is the president saying?
Well, this evening, the president is mincing no words. He is saying Hurricane Florence looks even bigger than anticipated. Now, this comes as the president is still saying that there are no lessons to be learned from the government's response to that deadly hurricane a year ago in Puerto Rico, Hurricane Maria. But the president knows, and the White House certainly knows, that they will be judged by the response to this storm. So the president had these ominous words to say today. He said, don't play games with this. It's a big one. President Trump issuing dire warnings tonight about the powerful force of Hurricane Florence as it roars toward the Carolinas. The president calling the storm even bigger than anticipated and extremely dangerous as his administration braces for the first major hurricane of the season. He even warned about the impending threat.
Don't play games with it. It's a big one.
But those words of caution still overshadowed tonight by his continued bragging about the government's response to Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico 1 year ago and killed nearly 3,000 people.
I think that Puerto Rico was an incredible, unsung success.
That description hardly meets the deadly reality of the storm. Yet he doubled down on Twitter, saying, "We got A+ for our recent hurricane work in Texas and Florida, and did an unappreciated great job in Puerto Rico, even though an inaccessible island with very poor electricity and a totally incompetent mayor of San Juan." San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz recoiling at his remarks, saying the president is adding insult to injury.
I'm sorry, sir. Shame on you. You did not do a good job in Puerto Rico. If he thinks that 3,000 people dying on his watch is a